and gentlemen, we are back in a three box as I kind of shift over and find my spot in this box here. Despite having a empty box here, we're getting back into game here. We had a short delay as we cleaned some stuff up on the stream. So we are back into game number 2 of Negative Space versus Fake Friends. The players have not swapped sides, electing to run it back on the same sides here.
Yeah, so the way that it works here for our tournament structure is we flip a coin for the first game, and then the winner of the coin toss gets to choose what side they want to start on, and then the losing team afterwards gets to choose what side they want to start on. Fake Friends, happy with the red side, okay with going that one more time, going to run it back. Let's see, they want that double pick and the last pick. So I'm not sure what's more important to them, if they're thinking the double pick's more important or if they're thinking the last pick is more important. But being able to counter pick your opposing lane is incredibly valuable, especially in a scenario where both of you are actually playing your characters correctly. Because a counter pick's only so effective. If you're in bronze and somebody else is bronze and they pick a counter pick, but you really know your champion and they don't know their champion, it's not a counter pick anymore. So... Yeah, but at this level of play, those small advantages can really make a huge difference. So getting that last pick, very valuable, so that they have opted to go with the red side. Please pick Timo. Please.
I feel like that's however. This is a good option, though. I'm okay with either of these.
He's lying to me. This is I am Kitsune. This is Josh, and he's just toying with my emotions. I know this from him. I'm a Teemo player. I play Teemo and Fiddlesticks in the set. There you go. So,
yeah, kind of one of the best top laners of this season set. Going to be going against Rumble in that top lane. So, or it could be set jungle.
Yeah, he is a flex pick right here. Picking that set early is going to be very flexible for them. They can definitely put it in the jungle. Very effective jungler as well, too. But in that top lane, also very effective. That huge health pool would make him much more effective in dealing with the burst from Rumble. He's going to have a much wider health pool to deal with because he gets that massive shield from his W ability.
Yeah, plus the bonus true damage that he gets as that grit passive stacks up definitely will help out where he wants to be trading with this Rumble, whereas maybe that Fiora didn't so much.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Fiora and Rumble matchup, most of the games, honestly, where we've seen Fiora so far in this tournament, she's been a little underwhelming. She hasn't really been able to pop off, and maybe that is one of those things that just doesn't really transition from all of your solo queue games into a more team environment, because Fiora is a very dominant laner. And if you get a little bit of assistance, you can just get really far ahead. But in these team games, people generally play a little bit more on the safe side. Not saying necessarily for the Fiora, but if the opposing laner is playing a little bit more safe, you might not get as many opportunities to try and push those edges. I'm really interested in these next 2 bans as well, too. Are we going to see 2 more targeted mid bans? We could see a Morgana and a Sona ban come out here from FF. No, they're going to get rid of the Graves.
No, it's going to be the Graves. Yeah. So we were talking about that at the end of last game. Kitten has been playing mostly Graves for this tournament and in the show matches as well. I believe he played Graves as well and has just been very good on it. So forcing Kitten onto something maybe a little bit less comfortable here.
Yeah, I hope we see Evelyn. I really hope we see Evelyn. I don't think we will. Not really building into this AoE. Well, maybe. Did we see Kitten on Sejuani earlier as well too? No, that was our good friend Attack Speed Blood Racer Sejuani.
Yeah, that was Ultimate Bravery Sejuani, which I don't think we can say too much about. We do see the Morgana ban, so oddly enough, mid lane Sona is available.
Oh, it's open, baby. Morgana, yeah, getting out of there. That Morgana, when you do have Morgana in the mid lane as well, too, people often forget the damage potential from Morgana. She has a very high damage potential. She's got really good bases as well on her spells, which means that she can do a lot of damage from the support position, too. But when you put that Morgana in the mid lane and she's able to pick up just raw AP and that utility that Q-Pick picked up last game, too, he wasn't only a high threat, high damage mid lane caster, he was also a huge slow bot for his team.
Yeah, exactly. But we will have to see what he chooses to run it back on. We do see the Wukong picked up as well, so we're still not 100% certain because that could be a Wukong top set jungle, or it could be Wukong jungle set top. So we'll have to see who gets who, and really where, once we get into the loading screen, I'd say that's when we 100% know.
Yeah, we definitely don't know until then because these players are also capable of playing different roles. A lot of these people are really high to like mid-high solo queue players. A lot of them play at least two positions and play them really well as well too. So we definitely could see some switching around as this is going forward. And I'm excited with the Ahri pick. Haven't seen Q pick on Ahri yet. That'll be a fun laner.
Yeah, and an interesting matchup against Cassiopeia as well, because Cassiopeia kind of stops one of the big advantages of Ahri with that triple dash ultimate.
Well, Cassiopeia is actually going to be bot lane. Cassiopeia is going to be our AD this game. She's going to be our bot lane
yeah,
AD.
as they don't pick an AD. Yeah, you are likely correct.
They could be Troll City. That's definitely possible. Celestiri, having been very dominant in the past. Here, I'll just move a little bit back. My cat joined me for this, so you can see a little cat head. She was not okay with all the attention the game was getting, and she wanted to say hi. So came over in the midcast. She's gone now. This will be very interesting. Busty Senpai on the TF. We did see him on TF earlier this series. Had a really strong start, and then they put a lot of pressure in his mid lane, forcing him to blow his ultimates, his mid, both of his mid game ultimates, really, because you only get a few ults as TF in that mid game before laning phase is over. They forced him to blow both of them defensively, and then that really didn't enable him to take the gold that he had accumulated and snowball another lane. So
one of
Senpai
which
getting a second shot.
Yeah, one of those ultis was burned, and he didn't get away with it too, being the big thing there. So it'll be interesting to see how he matches up with this Ahri as well, because that is another thing, is he has to be careful with where he uses that ulti as well, because Ahri with the charm can cancel out that teleport.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. And Cupic, very, very aware of what's going on. It might be something that he looks to do. Busty Senpai mostly probably going to be using his ultimates on the way back to lane and popping up into a random lane or as a follow afterwards. Ahri also a very effective roamer. It'll be interesting to see how that lane plays out. A lot of wave clear from both champions. And the jungle pressure, it does look like if we've got the same people in the same roles this time, it looks like we're going to see specialty on the Wukong jungle and Trundle in the mid. So Trundle, very good at ganking early, especially when your mid laner's bringing some CC. You've got the slow and the pillar knockback. There's definitely some potential.
Looking at the lanes, none of the laners really, other than Pyke on the side of Fake Friends here, has a dash to be able to get around that Trundle pillar either. So it's going to be a very effective form of CC and ganking tool for Kitten here.
Yeah, and I'm loving the Pyke. He's always such a fun champion. He's a really fun champion to play. If you haven't played Pyke, I definitely recommend picking him up or trying him when he is free. He's a lot of fun to play. He brings a lot of mobility into the game as well, too. So we're going to see Canadian all over the map. We might even see early bot roams towards the mid lane from Canadian, because Canadian, a very supportive support player. He likes to move around the map and give a lot of advantage to a lot of different lanes. And Pyke really brings a lot of mobility and a ton of kill potential. So I'd be very surprised if we saw a Canadian just sitting bot lane the whole game.
Yeah, so you have to imagine with the Twisted Fate as well, that actually that top side of the map is probably going to be under a lot of pressure with a roaming Pyke and a Twisted Fate who's able to ulti into places. So
yeah, that big pressure potentially from them. And then you also got the invisible Wukong coming from the shadows as well, too. You got to worry about the Monkey King. And then for the side of Negative Space, they've got their strong team fight comp again. They've got Kimchi on the Misfortune for those AoE alts, Rumble for Watery again, and then Cine once again on the Nami.
Yeah. Had a very good game on that Nami, able to avoid the Blitzcrank hooks throughout most of the game. I don't know if he ever really got caught by any. So
I don't think so, yeah.
I mean, that is kind of one of the rougher matchups for Nami is Blitzcrank, where you can get pulled in and just blown up, and there isn't really a whole lot you can do about it with that character.
No, yeah. Once Blitzcrank pulls you in, if you're Nami, you're just like, oh god, I hope that I live. It didn't look like we had much action in the bot lane. Not a lot of openings for Canadian to really make those Blitzcrank snowballs happen. Unfortunately for him, that last game, a couple blind hooks that, had they gone his way, may have shifted the tide of a game. But that's how it goes sometimes with Blitzcrank. You can't land them all. You can't snowball every lane. And they didn't go for an aggressive jungle strat with the Blitzcrank either, not using his abilities in that way.
No.
So
yeah, we didn't see any level 1 invades or anything like that. So maybe we'll see that coming out here.
Yeah, we might see. Most of the times they have been opting for those defensive starts, not really looking to fight too early from what we've seen so far.
Do have a 5-man stack coming in on the top side, though, so gonna get found out by Kitsune here.
30 seconds until
Yeah, and unfortunate for fast friends, fake friends, the fastest of fakest friends. They're not going to be able to CC him there. They don't really have too much. Busty Senpai, pick a card, was not leading, so he's not going to be able to get the stun off. And then
there was potential with Set being able to pull back in if he takes that. I believe it's his E first.
It's one of his abilities.
It's one of his abilities. But actually, water walking, one of those runes that are quite often taken by junglers, coming out big for Trundle there, giving him that little bit of extra move speed, just making sure he stays out of range of Set's face smasher, I believe it is.
Yeah, he was living very safe there, safe and free.
Face
and we're
breaker.
Gonna see face breaker, and we're going to see a funny start here. We're going to see both junglers starting on their reds, so we're going to see a mirrored start in the jungle. Top lane helping the Wukong as well too for a little bit. Set hopefully not going to lose any minion XP in that lane for helping with that jungle leash. Likely going to get there in time.
No, he will make it there. Watching him right now, just make it right up to the top lane, as we do see a level 2 gank by Kitten onto Busty Senpai here. He will drop very low, dodges out on the true damage from Cupic, and flash burn though early on.
Wow. So unfortunate for Busty Senpai there. Busty Senpai there just starting out his lane with a natural harass, dodges Cupic's ability, so he goes in for his counter trade, picks his card, moves up forward, but little does he know, Trundle's already running mid lane. It's so early in the game and Trundle's already running mid. It almost never happens, especially with a Trundle. So Trundle does have his pillar and his chomp. Normally you'll grab the move speed second, so aggressive pickup by Trundle, but it absolutely pays off for them there, getting that flash really early from Busty Senpai.
Yeah, no, and as we're talking, that Trundle pillar is very effective CC against most of these laners. They do not have any dash ability to get away from that. As the charm does come out, Specialty is here to protect Busty Senpai. The gank is coming down onto Cupic. Will not find too much. The dash forward into tower range will have to flash away. So a flash burn by Specialty on his own gank, and just the cleanse out from Cupic.
Yeah, and Kitten being there in the wings really forced them to not try for that dive. Busty Senpai was priming his card. They might have been able to
Busty
go
Senpai
for
dropping
it,
very low there.
Oh, there's so much action happening here in this mid lane early. They're just trying to kill each other as hard as they can.
Yeah, a great pillar from Kitten keeps Specialty
here, though.
away. Cupic dropping very low, Specialty almost going down. Trundle does pick that one up, and somehow Cupic makes it away alive with just the slimmest margins of HP.
Yeah, and Cupid does manage to escape there, which is going to make it even worse for Specialty. But that's one of the things about Trundle, is when Trundle gets into those close corners, when he's in your face, you're just dead as a Wukong early. He's got that slow, he steals your attack damage, and then eventually he's going to get his movement speed increased, and he's going to slow you down with his pillar. So as soon as Specialty had reconnected with that Trundle there, he was already dead. There was no living for him at all. So unfortunate for Specialty here in this second game of the series. First Blood going to be going over to the Trundle.
Yeah, and one of the benefits of Wukong is he does get bonus armor. I don't know if he gets bonus magic resist anymore from his passive. Trundle kind of negates that. Being able to do that bruiser build where you have some natural armor just a little bit more really makes you really tanky, but the Trundle ultimate will be stealing those stats away.
Yeah, as the game goes on, Trundle's going to have a couple good targets to ult as well, too. But big gank and counter gank coming in here in the top lane.
Yeah, Busty Senpai going very low, doing that early level 4 gank, and it's going to turn poorly for him. Watery now trying to chase down Kitten. The true damage shield comes out, and Kitsune will be able to walk away from that one, but an unfortunate turn of events as Kitten continues to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And really unfortunate for Busty Senpai. Being such a rock in all these games so far in the early, he's having a really hard early game so far. So much fighting in his mid lane. Goes for a roam top lane. What looks like is going to be a kill, and what does he find? He finds the opposing jungler just ready. And not only that, he is also still dealing with Cupid as well, too, in the top lane. Very dangerous, or sorry, Cupid in the mid lane. Very dangerous mid laner as well, too. So it's not like he has an easy lane to begin with. Very tough tough game so far for Busty Senpai.
And Cupid has been on top of the charms so far, landing so many of them and getting just some great harass off onto Busty Senpai early.
Yeah, Cupid really landing a lot of those charms at really ideal timings, and just very effective at watching the minion wave and seeing when he's going to have an opportunity. So I would be very scared if I were the person laning against the Ahri that always seems to know when to charm me. Because, like, right here, look at this. She's looking for it. She's looking for the angle. But she's not going to throw a random one either. That's the thing, right? And that's what makes some mid laners so great. Part of your threat as a mid laner at this point is the threat of the charm, not the charm itself. He's level 6.
Yeah.
If he lands a charm, Busty Senpai is in a very dangerous point. Nice trade from Busty, really picking that up there. That puts Cupid in a dangerous health zone, actually, but here it comes.
The dash forward, though. The cleanse coming out, the gold card not going to stun him for too long. Canadian on the backside here was ready to back him up, but that was another 2v2, so yet another gank that Kitten is on top of for the counter gank.
Yeah, Kitten was coming for that, and if Busty Senpai hadn't managed that early trade there as well, too, Cupid likely would have pushed it a little bit harder, and maybe picked up Busty Senpai, or maybe forced a 2v2 fight with the Canadian there and the jungler, Kitten, coming from the backside. So well played by Busty, making sure that he's not too afraid of Ahri to go in and trade, because if you don't hurt her, she just has all the openings in the world to try and kill you. So you have to put a little bit of damage onto her so that it is risky for those times when she's going to be looking to give you that all in.
Yeah, and looking at Canadian down in the bot lane, it's been very quiet down there. We haven't heard a whole lot from either side of that lane matchup. Just kind of farming back and forth the Cassiopeia and Misfortune, which I feel like if you're looking for a late game threat, kind of the Cassiopeia scales a little bit better than that Misfortune in these just straight farming duels.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Cassiopeia, very, very scary. We have seen Celesteria on Cassiopeia in the past. Very strong Cassiopeia player. Does have the tier already built up, so he's going to be stacking that tier quite quickly. Once Cassiopeia does have her level 6 and a couple completed items, she's a very, very threatening champion. So we'll see how that does play out. Not going to have too many opportunities for kills, though, in this Nami MF game lane, where they're just going to be playing very far from the back, as you can see, playing very far behind the minion line. Happy to just farm right now. Not trying to force any fights against Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia obviously going to be able to put out a sizable amount of damage, especially when her mana pool's full.
And K for Kimchi was banned away from the Ezreal this game as Cupic now going in. Misses the charm onto Busty Senpai, but it doesn't matter. He has a lot of damage here. It's not going to be enough to kill him as Specialty now coming in with the gank onto Watery in the top lane. The Equalizer comes down, but the ultimate comes out from Set. It's enough to finish him off. The Haymaker shield keeping Kitsune alive quite healthily as now Kitten gets chased down. I'm getting Kitten and Kitsune mixed up as it's very similar names there. Now Cupic trying to look for some extra harass.
Yeah,
but,
great pickup there by Fake Friends. Busty Senpai managing to survive the all-in from Cupic in the mid lane, almost dying, but that gives him the opportunity to then TP back into that fight and land the necessary CC to pick up the second kill onto Kitten. So not only do they pick up 2 kills there, 2 for 0, but they also deny the Rift Herald that Kitten was in the process of getting. So massive play there from Fake Friends, really putting them in a much more fortuitous position as they're moving forward in this game.
Yeah, no, it definitely evens up the score a little bit. Now only 500 gold apart as Busty Senpai going to get ganked in the mid lane. The charm will miss, though. Yeah, Busty putting on the fancy dancing shoes. Just tap dancing his way to safety. And the continued trade. But I wanted to talk earlier about the Misfortune pick, because we have seen Kimchi on Ezreal that was banned away after a very good game 1 from him. Misfortune kind of has been the AD carry to beat this season so far. I believe she's gotten nerfed on a couple patches now, though, so maybe falling down the ranks a little bit, but still a very strong AD carry.
Very strong AD. She also got that nice Halloween skin last Halloween if you were lucky enough to pick it up. So that was a big buff to Misfortune. Actually, it is funny. It's funny how when a new skin comes into a game, you'll actually see a champion's strength increase. And that'll happen for one of 2 reasons. Either Riot will give them a buff, or players start playing a champion all of a sudden, and then they realize, oh, I haven't tried this champion since this item came out. Oh, big engage
here. But now
here.
Kimchi, yeah, getting dove on. The ultimate from Canadian will not be enough to finish him off, but Celestiri will finish the kill. Watery now with the Equalizer across Celestiri, just burning him to bits here. The Showstopper under tower. Kitsune now going to tank a lot of damage, but the true damage Haymaker will finish off the kill there. Cine will get sliced up by Canadian, and it is a massacre down in the bot lane. A 2-for-1 trade. The Rift Herald getting started up by Kitten, though. Specialty is around to try and stop this.
Yeah, Specialty's in the area as well too, but so is Cupic. And Cupic is very healthy. Cupic has completed his first item as well too, so definitely have to be cautious of trying to take a 2v1 for the steal. If you're just looking for a steal, ooh, Cupic looking for the engage.
Yeah, gets the charm onto Busty Senpai here. The killer will knock him backwards. This should be a dead Busty as the final dash comes forward. Kin will pick that one up with the chomp. And yet another death on Busty now.
Yeah, and the Rift Herald dropped in the mid lane with 3 tower plates remaining. This is going to be just the perfect amount to bust that tower wide open. Going to pick up first tower gold and 3 plates here for Cupic. Just a couple more.
They might not actually be able to do that.
Engage.
Yeah, Kitsune now going to chase down Kitten here. Specialty with the flash forward will get just enough distance to get the knock up. Kitten will go down, but that is first tower destroyed as they kind of just allowed Cupic to continue pushing that tower with the Rift Herald.
Yeah, well, we did see Canadian come in. We didn't see the camera quite collapse on it, but Canadian did come around, tried to, I think he did kill the Rift Herald as well, too. I'm pretty sure the normal minions did take down the tower at the end. So Canadian trying to save that tower, but just as a pike against an Ahri, there's not too much he can do to defend. Especially with his top team fighting on that side.
Yeah, not too much backup available for him there. Busty Senpai was still in the death chambers. Celestiri taking a huge chunk, and that double up is one of the reasons why Misfortune is so strong in the early laning phase.
Yeah, she managed to get you with a couple of hits, especially if they're a bounce hit. Your health pool just absolutely disappears. And for someone like Celestiri, where he doesn't have any sort of regeneration in his lane, it's going to be a couple of those, and it puts him in a definite death zone where if Nami lands an ultimate or a bubble, that's going to be that life. It's going to be that one up.
He does have a little bit of regeneration built into the Twin Fangs now. But yeah,
yes, that is true.
If you get one or two of those immediately after each other, that is a huge chunk out of your health pool. But so far, being able to stay pretty safe as the Showstopper comes out from Kitsune, going to drop Watery very low. He will be able to just walk away from that one, but a good trade in the top lane for Set. He's kind of taking over this lane right now.
Yeah, massive trade there for Set. Set looks like he's also going to be itemizing for Bork first. This isn't a Set build that I've personally seen in the past, but it'll be interesting to see the kind of damage he outputs if he does choose to finish that and go for the Bork build specialty.
Specialty coming in with the ultimate knock up onto Cupid. Cupid will just continue to dash away. Dashes out of the Pike ulti and barely stays alive. Getting away with his life on that one. That is the danger of the roaming Pike.
Holy, yeah. Everyone comes for Cupid. Cupid almost goes down, but he lands absolutely every single ultimate charge. Gets himself out with as fancy as footwork as you can hope for. Manages to survive that somehow. So, well played, Cupid. Near their second tower, 3 members of your opposing team come at you, and you still get out alive. So,
yeah, that was... the reason why I had a lot of friends who absolutely hated Ahri upon release back in the day, those 3 dashes on her ulti just give her so much mobility in the lane and so much ability to get away from just about anything.
Yeah, really hard to keep track of here. And Cupid here has picked up a couple of items on this base. Watery does have his Haunting Guise completed into Leandri's Torment. Which is great for him. He's also got Ninja Taffy as well for these fights, but we do see, Set did go for Bork, so he does have Bork completed on Set. Looks like he's going to be going for Black Cleaver second as well, too. So, interesting Set build. Maybe standard. I just have not seen it myself.
Yeah, and especially a little weird. You kind of expect that more against the tanky laners, more of the bruisers in the top lane. You kind of build that Bork to get that extra percentage health damage. That's really not going to do a whole lot against Rumble, not a very health-oriented character.
No, but it will give him that extra sticking power as well, too, to a character like Rumble, who has the slows and the move speed. Getting that little bit of extra stick might be beneficial. And you can see that massive trade that came out there. Bussy Senpai looking for Watery now.
Chasing him down, has the gold card available. Watery in a lot of trouble trying to get back to his tower, will get stunned up. The wild card's not going to do enough, and now Watery is going to just chase on to Bussy Senpai as the Showstopper comes out. The Facebreaker misses, but the Haymaker lands, and Kitsune picks up another kill. 4-0-2 now on that Set. And I was saying earlier how much of a terror this Set can be and has been this season, as now we got Cupid coming up looking for some plays in the top lane. Does not get the charm. The gold card stuns him up, but him now here will get onto Kitsune here. Dodges out on the Facebreaker's Cupid, or Haymaker, and Bussy Senpai will get chopped down by Kitten once again here.
Yeah, Bussy Senpai putting out the maximum amount of damage that he could in that fight, but just very small right now, unfortunate for him. You could see it with the dive. He's not used to being this small at this point in the game. A lot of pressure being exerted into his lane, a lot of fighting early, mid, the early ganks not really working out for them, and when his TPs have really enabled kills, they haven't gone to him either. So Bussy Senpai not doing as much damage as he's probably used to doing at this point. Almost dying on the dive versus the Rumble there, but really playing very well in that team fight, dodging a ton of damage from the Ahri, sidestepping as much as he could, and throwing out 3 or 4 wild cards from behind that pillar there. Unfortunately for them, not enough. Set not extremely tanky. That is definitely one of the trade-offs, going for Bork first. So not able to just tank them forever, and they both end up falling as a result.
Yeah, and also to look at his item build with that Rod of Ages, not necessarily having that early power that, say, maybe a Luden's Echo would provide instead. Instead electing to kind of wait a bit longer, so maybe not quite used to that timing as well.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's a really good pickup in this game, particularly when you do have a Cassiopeia as your primary carry, and she certainly is their primary carry. She takes a while to go on, so as TF, choosing to go for a more scaling item is definitely going to give you a little bit more relative strength as the game goes on. So, and especially being forced small early, it's probably a good pick to just, say, okay, I'm not going to be as strong as I normally am. I'm going to buy this item. We're going to go late game. We're going to stack. We're going to be great. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. But, and I agree with you, especially kind of being down. It gives you that little bit of extra late game insurance where you'll have, a little bit of extra tankiness. You're getting focused in fights, a little bit of extra AP, because you do have to wait for it, but it does give a decent amount of damage once you get to that 10-minute mark.
Mm-hmm. And we have seen some really fancy plays by the Wukong so far this game. A lot of really good movement, using his ult very effectively, using the double charge on his ult very effectively as well too. We'll see him gank and use his dash and then ultimate, but not use his clone to start so that he can then clone later in the fight, shift himself forward, and ult again, getting that double ult off. So really nice Wukong play coming out of specialty so far this game.
Yeah. We do have a gank by Kitten down in the top lane. Will get the pillar onto Cassiopeia. The ultimate comes out, but will not stun anybody up. The teleport's coming through for the mid and top laners. Or at least the top laner of Negative Space and the mid laner of Fake Friends here. Now looking, the Kitten will dodge out on the hook there, will get stunned up by the Pike on the backside. Celestiri now just kind of trying to find some damage on the side. The bullet time comes across, burning down Celestiri quite a lot. That Equalizer as well, doing a lot of damage. And now Fake Friends looking very low here, as Canadian's going to get caught out under tower. Kate for Kimchi finishing that off with the double up. Cupid just dodging out of the way of Celestiri, but will get taken down by the tower. Kitsune now on the backside, ready to go. Tosses out the Haymaker a little bit early. Specialty chasing onto the Rumble. The Showstopper pulling him over the wall. Not enough to keep Specialty alive, and now Misfortune going to be cleaning up this fight as Watery tries to run away here, or Kitten tries to run away. Watery already down. Kitsune just going to do what he can. All you can do is just kind of walk forward though, and Kimchi will pick up that kill after a very long fight.
Yeah, what a long fight. All of that was brought about because both teams were starting the position for that dragon buff. As you can see, Kitten now doing the dragon. Just getting that really low. He is seeing some people collapse, but he will have enough time to finish it off. They'll be able to pick up the dragon, which is going to let us know what dragon we are getting for this game as well, too.
And it's going to be the Inferno blazing on the rifts, so a lot of damage going to be pumped out of this game.
Oh, yeah. You can just imagine Inferno Drake on someone like a TF or Cassiopeia. Very scary, but even a Rumble ult as well too, that initial damage, or Misfortune. Obviously Negative Space more likely to pick up the fourth dragon at this point now that they do already have the first two.
And Cupid charming up Busty Senpai. He will manage to take him down in the 1v2 as Celestiri now getting chased down by the bullet time, and the tidal wave coming through. Cini picking up that one as they go 2 for 0 in the mid lane actually. While all that was happening, I guess Cupid managed to 1v1 the Pike afterwards as well. Now under tower, going to take a lot of damage from tower here, but Watery here to help out, takes the tower, flashes away, but they do pick up the kill, and that's a 4 for nothing across the map.
Yeah, Negative Space have just really opened up this game, or closed out this game a little bit even. Oh, nice
flash forward on the Haymaker. Kitsune picking up that kill, but now Kitten coming to get revenge for his mid laner. The Showstopper's not going to be enough as Watery burns down the set, and that is a unofficial ace across the board. Everybody on Fake Friends dying at the end of that one.
Yeah, Negative Space really just taking these last two team fights all for themselves. Really dominant performances so far in these team fights. Coming up massively ahead. They start off that last fight before the Dragon with Misfortune really starting the engage, just popping them extremely low, and then they're diving between two towers. Just absolute madness. And then right after that, we go into another team fight, and Negative Space all of a sudden have just widened the game from being an extremely close game to 2 dragons with almost with a 4K gold lead.
Yeah, and we do have the Baron spawn now. They have gotten both Rift Heralds as well, taking the outer mid and top towers with those. As now Watery gets jumped on by Specialty, the Equalizer will come across Canadian Specialty both there. Busty Senpai is there. The golden stopwatch stopping the execution from Canadian, and Watery once again comes out alive.
Wow, yeah, the Zanya's having been fully completed, so getting his broken stopwatch value early, and then also, wow, Cupid, nice chase there, just predicting exactly how the Wukong was going to pass. You can see Wukong invisible to him, but Cupid standing on him basically for that entire chase there.
Yeah, knew exactly where he was going, and now Negative Space starting up the Baron, just continuing their objective domination on this map.
Yeah, and if they do manage to pick up this Baron, this is going to be very hard if they do manage to pick up this Baron for Fake Friend.
Kitsune looking for the engage here. The Haymaker comes out early. That's kind of your tanky ability with Set, and he just gets burned down immediately, not able to walk into the fight as the Cassiopeia ulti comes across, but the bullet time doing so much damage on top of the Equalizer. Now Busty Senpai going to be chased down by K for Kimchi. You cannot get away from this Misfortune. That's a quadra kill picked up by K for Kimchi, but the Baron is saved.
Yeah, Baron won't go down, but everything else will. Holy, that ultimate for K for Kimchi, just absolutely perfect, laying it all the way across the opposing team from the darkness. They didn't even know he was there, had no idea. He just completely lays them flat. Meanwhile, they're already standing on Rumble ultimate as well too, so they're slow. They're taking AoE Leandri's damage and Misfortune ult on top of that. Just a massive, massive team fight for them. And Cupid probably too far forward right now.
Yeah, Specialty manages to take his own red buff away from Cupid, but he will just continuously be slowed up as Cupid can continue this mid-jungle domination this game.
Yeah, Cupid putting on an excellent performance on this Ahri this game. Very, very scary. Managing to stay alive as well there too. He really loves these utility mid items. He seems to pick them up on pretty much everybody. He's got Spooky Ghost and the Slowy item on Ahri, just like he had on Morgana, just like he had on Sona, I'm pretty sure. So Cupid really likes to play with as many abilities as possible. Does my item have an activatable? Great, I'll buy that one. That one sounds good. So, yeah,
I'd
really
be scared to
use
see him with
too.
Deathfire Grasp still in the game.
No, that's gone forever. Sorry, Cupid.
Now Kitsune trying to get something back, trying to take down this tower here. The Grit will be fully stacked up. The Showstopper will come out. Watery going golden and just burning away on Kitsune here. He has so little life left. The healing from the Borg passive not enough. And Watery will be able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, and that Bork doing a lot of damage to Watery, almost able to bump him out. But unfortunately for him, the Zanya is too strong.
The gold card's landing onto Kitten. I believe he tried to target Cupid for that one, but Kitten will take it and happily chase down the Wukong. Siri now going gold and will be in a little bit of trouble. K for Kimchi has to stop the bullet time, but manages to kill off everybody else with a little help from his friends. And Negative Space just continuing to wipe forward on this game.
Yeah, and in the last 8 minutes, really,
right now.
It went from being an extremely close game to a very favorable game for Negative Space. A couple team fights, a lot of them really created by this Misfortune as well, have just really put Negative Space in a dominant position here. 28 minutes here, pushing in, killing people under double Nexus towers. We only have one player alive and 2 about to spawn. This could be the game.
Yeah, and one of them immediately goes back to the fountain. Siri now trying to do as much as he can from the fountain, but it's not going to be enough. The Nexus towers are going down. The players can't get out of their fountain. And this should be the end of the game right here as K for Kimchi just continues to duel it out with the fountain. Specialty tries to dive forward and get something. He will not. And that will be Negative Space taking the game and taking this series, moving on to the finals of the Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup.
Yeah, well played, Negative Space. Well played, Fake Friends as well, too, putting on an excellent show. Trying to kill each other as hard as they can. That's
yeah, a great pillar from away. Cupic dropping as we have a little bit of replay audio coming through there. As you said, they were trying to kill each other very well.
Oh, they love to kill each other. They try very hard, and they do it often. So, really exciting plays there across the map. You can see this very exciting play here at the top. Busty Senpai kiting it for as long as he can. Can't quite get it out. Watery burning him in the bush. Kitsune coming around as well, too. I think they did manage to pick up the kill here on Kitsune as well, too. No, they didn't quite. And then the reverse gank.
Yeah.
Afterwards from Watery. And then Kitten, this is what happens. Kitten comes back around from the backside. Busty Senpai coming into Kitten flash, Busty Senpai flash, all the flashes. Red buff slow, nowhere for Kitten to go. Down he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, and
at this point,
just kind of left even. Yeah, 2-2 across the board. And here you see one of the tough things with Misfortune is that immobility and how hard it is to get away from characters like Pike, say a Leona, a Blitzcrank, but a turnaround here by Watery trying to get an extra kill back, but Kitsune matching that teleport. Sitting 3-0-1.
Yeah, big, strong start for Kitsune. Unfortunate for him, I think. I mean, like, I don't know Set enough, so it's really hard for me to say this, but I think the Bork was probably a mistake as the game went on, because in team fights, what was ending up happening is his role was he had to run forward into the team. I think you're anticipating that that's going to be Wukong, but in a lot of his team fights, you've got Kitsune running in to the team and taking so much damage to the face first before he can even get attacking. So, and unfortunately in those duels against Watery as the game went on as well too, not quite enough damage to be able to take him down. So maybe he did need a little bit more tank this game. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and Bork is the way to go, especially against Valaner that he's playing against. Unfortunately, it did make him a little bit squishier than I'm normally used to seeing a Set.
Yeah, and also I touched on it a little bit. Possibly, like, if you're going to critique, and these are obviously much higher skill level players than I am, so I am absolutely not in a position to really critique them, but possibly popping that haymaker too early in the fights, you really want to let that grit passive build up and wait till Set goes Super Saiyan. He actually does, like, start glowing golden, then you get that full shield passive that takes up almost your entire health bar.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Fake Friends, they didn't really have a lot of control in these team fights. They weren't the ones starting them for the most part. As the game went on, it was really Negative Space taking the maximum advantage there. I am hearing that Bork is the standard on Set right now, which makes sense. It obviously makes sense. These guys are smart. They know what they're building. It just, he did feel a little squishy in those team fights, a little bit squishier than I'm used to seeing my silver Elo Sets. Normally they're a lot tankier, so
yeah. But I mean, either way, like, it was also just Negative Space playing extremely well. Negative Space got quite a lead going throughout the game, and especially from that mid-jungle duo of Kitten and Cupic, like, that's going to be the thing to stop if you're Team Fail support looking at these matches.
Mm-hmm. And this fight here was the first fight that really turned the game all into Negative Space's favor. K for Kimchi starts off the fight, manages to clean up. We get a 4-for-1. Kitten gets the dragon as well too here. Massive pickups for them, putting them in a much more, or not 4-for-1, but a very strong fight for them. And then later on, that's when they got their 4-for-1 fight. But yeah,
I believe that one was a 5-for-3.
5-for-3, yeah. Fight. And then K for Kimchi picks up, I think, enough gold to pick up his IE shortly thereafter, and then that's a big change for the game.
Yeah. But either way, a well-played series by both teams. It was very close, kind of either way. Just a couple plays in the mid-game, and you can see how quickly a game can turn, and Kitsune just continuing to make plays throughout the game, no matter where his team was at.
Yeah, Kitsune not afraid to pull the trigger, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, well played by both teams. Negative Space does end up taking the game and moving on to the finals, where they will be facing off against Team Failsport, who just swept through the round robin that we had.
Yeah, well played, Negative Space, to come up and deal with TFS. TFS is going to be a good series, going to be tough.
Yeah. Honestly, these two teams that we saw in the semifinal here, I kind of, like, going in, this was the matchup that, having known all the Overclock tournaments before, this is kind of what you expect to be the final matchup. But then Team Fail Support just kind of showing up this tournament.
Yeah, showing up and being extremely dominant in all their games, having a lot of control of the map, and working really well as a team so far. So we'll see when they get into this best-of-5 series if they can get exposed, if Negative Space is able to figure out what the magic is from TFS and shut it down.
Yeah, so we will be getting into that best-of-5 series shortly. But we will be taking a break before that. And while we take a break, you can take a break and take a look at the charity link down below, because this is the Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup, where we are trying to give back to our community and help out where we can. We're trying to support the Edmonton Food Bank here. So if you go down below on the Twitch page, there is a link to the donation page where you can make a donation.
It's just a picture. You click the picture right there below our Twitch, and it'll bring you right to the donation page from CanadaHelps.org. And if you do donate, you're going to be entered into our last raffle for RP cards. So I do have the winners from yesterday's RP draw as well too. If you want to know who those wins are.
I believe the people who want to know.
They do want to know. Okay, so for our $10 RP card for one of these babies, that's going to be going to Cindy Mai for donating. So thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you for donating. And for the $25 RP card, that's going to be going to Orest Kokon for donating. So thank you again to Orest and Cindy and everyone else that's donated. We've raised almost $800 so far. Hopefully we can push it at least over 1,000. That would be so awesome. So we're going to be broadcasting. We got a lot more games to come today. So tell your parents, because we know they have money.
Yeah, but even if you don't have some extra money to spend, you can always share the stream as well on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, and that will also get you a chance to be entered in for the draw today. And it helps us out getting the word out, getting more people who know maybe they can donate rather than you. So by extension, you're already helping just by sharing the stream. So if you can do that, that is very much appreciated. So that will be us here for the semifinals. We will be back very shortly with the final series, a best-of-5 between Team Fail Support, who swept through the round robin play, and Negative Space, who you just saw finish off Fake Friends in the semifinal action. We will be back shortly, so stick around.
Fortune Alt on top of that, just a massive team fight for them, and Cubic probably too far forward right now.
Yeah, Specialty manages to take his own red buff away from Cubic, but it will just continuously be slowed up as Cubic and Kim continue this mid-jungle domination this game.
Yeah, Cubic, no, that's gone forever. Sorry, Cubic.
Now Kitsune trying to get something back, trying to take down this tower here. The grit will be fully stacked up. The showstopper will come out. Watchery going golden and just burning away on Kitsune here. He has so little life left. The healing from the Borg passive not enough. And Watchery will be able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, that Borg.
Yeah, The gold card's landing onto Kitten. I believe he tried to target Cupic for that one, but Kitten will take it and happily chase down the Wukong. Celisiri now going gold and will be in a little bit of trouble. K for Kimchi has to stop the bullet time, but manages to kill off everybody else with a little help from his friends. And Negative Space just continuing to wipe forward on this game.
Yeah, and in the last 8 minutes, really,
right now.
It went from being an extremely close game to a very favorable game for Negative Space. A couple team fights, a lot of them really created by this misfortune as well, have just really put Negative Space in a dominant position here. 28 minutes here, pushing in, killing people under double Nexus towers. We only have one player alive and 2 about to spawn. This could be the game.
Yeah, and one of them immediately goes back to the fountain. Celisiri now trying to do as much as he can from the fountain, but it's not going to be enough. The Nexus towers are going down. The players can't get out of their fountain, and this should be the end of the game right here as K for Kimchi just continues to duel it out with the fountain. Specialty tries to dive forward and get something. He will not, and that will be Negative Space taking the game and taking this series, moving on to the finals of the Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.
ASA is a non-profit, province-wide collection of gaming communities. Their focus is to foster lasting esports growth through collaboration with over a dozen gaming communities and multiple industry partnerships. Before we officially bring Super Smashing COVID to a close, we'd like to show our appreciation for all the competitors. Let's relive some of the best moments throughout the tournament.
Oh my, the unblockable setup into the key shot!
Oh my god!
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, look at this. How was it drinking, man?
Yeah, he's all like, Christian resilience, cheers, man!
That's great.
A way to worry these forwarders from the Eagle Gloves that aren't gonna hit, but Mark is gonna hit.
Oh, and again, such great recovery. He dipped. I think he missed that edge guard like 2 or 3.
The sparking. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, this is the ghetto perfect! Oh my goodness! The ghetto perfect! We got it on stream.
I'm camping my round one. I'm camping my round one in a charity tournament. Who can say they timed out their round one opponent?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh no! Who's gonna die first? Oh, it's a tie!
Wait, are you kidding?
Nothing?
Younglings back there are super weak. I think
Yeah.
Alpha may have killed them.
Maybe.
Oh, and the dash attack.
Dash attack, okay.
We're not going to see any Shabooms with these packs.
Oh.
That's it for good.
When he's not stuck in Deadman OP.
I don't know what
it?
move that was. Holy cow, that did a lot of damage.
Plus? Okay, no! Come on!
Geki,
Activation.
spending some meter for damage.
Yup.
Tries
Oh,
it
that's
again.
blocked. Oh, no, he
That's
kicked it!
dead. Song! Spends the rest
Wow.
of the Sony. David, meaty overhead setup. DP, critical art. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got? We got a reset. Came in building meter.
Nice defense.
Oh,
yes, yes, touchdown! 5 seconds left on the clock.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.
Is that fear I smell? Oh, I like how I'm gonna brighten your day.
I return to my training.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.
Not a problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live with the ICU video presentation of the Edmonton Overclock Gaming Edmonton Charity Cup Quarantine. I am absolutely botching this one.
So hard. You tried so hard, and I love you for that.
I've done this I've done this so well throughout the weekend, and now this time I just cannot do it.
It's the alliteration. There's too many similar letters in a row. That's what's going on there. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup, EQCC, my friends. We are in the grand finals.
Yes. We're in the grand finals. I'm Kevin the Noteman Kyle, alongside Tim Los Panderos Cooper.
That's me.
And we're finally at grand finals. It's been so long. We've been doing show matches leading up to this point, week after week. We did the tournament Friday night, pretty much all day yesterday, and now we're finally at the finals.
Yeah, and it's been a road, and for these two teams to understand their story. So we have Team Fail Support, who are going to be starting on the red side today. Captain DN Vanish, and we have Team Negative Space on the blue side, Captain Kitten, and Team Failsport is currently undefeated this tournament. And Negative Space left the bracket stage 2-2 or 3-1.
3-1. Fake Friends was 2-2.
Yeah, so Negative Space has only so far this tournament lost to Team Fail Support.
Yeah, and really, Team Fail Support has been the story of the tournament, just absolutely dominating in pretty much all of their wins. They might lose a little bit of tempo early game, but as soon as that mid game hits, they just pick up the game and run away with it.
Yeah, and we do see a ban adaptation in this game as well, too, coming from the last series. If you notice in the first three bans, we have the two standards, which are target bans right towards Cupic, the Zoe and the Lux, no thank you. They want no part of that. They're not gonna allow you to play those champions. So they do ban Miss Fortune as well too, who K for Kimchi was very effective on the previous game. Had a lot of game-changing ultimates and team fight starting ultimates even as Miss Fortune, which is extremely rare.
Yeah, no, very strong pick for Kimchi there. They banned away the Ezreal, which we do see him going back to this game. But combined with that Rumble and the Nami, it was just so hard to get away from that bullet time, and it just tore through Fake Friends time and time again.
Yeah, it was a massive team fight ult. Just a few of those ultimates all had at least 3 targets. And as Miss Fortune, if you get a full cast ultimate in 3 targets, that's a great day. You're having a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Might as well plan a picnic. It's probably beautiful outside.
Yeah. No, it's a great time. Braum being the last pickup here for Team Fail support. So getting that shield wall going to be helping out a lot against a lot of these engages with the Nami and the Syndra orbs as well. Stopping the Ezreal ulti from cutting across your team. Like, there is a lot of utility that's going to be coming out of this Braum.
Maokai ultimate as well. Yeah, there is significant utility for this Braum this game. We do see Morgana picked as well too, though. So that means that Morgana early pick, which was in their first 2 picks, I believe. I can't quite recall. But anyways, that Morgana pick may have been a pick away from Q pick as well too, because we did see that dominant performance before. And a bait, because Morgana can often be placed in support, and now Braum's definitely going to be in the support. I would be shocked if we saw him anywhere else.
I mean, I'm curious because we don't really have a jungle.
Yeah, we
on
do.
the side of Team Fail.
It's Morgana. It's Morgana jungle. That's what we're going to see this game. What?
So that was a thing. Wow. Going back to the show matches that we did, the very first one came out on the same patch that they buffed a few champions in the jungle, and Morgana was one of them, giving her a better clear throughout the jungle. I think just increasing the damage to minions or to monsters on her pool, right?
Yeah, I did see something about that. I forgot about it. I wasn't sure how it read. It must have read monsters, though, because obviously minions and monsters are coded with a different identifier so that the game treats the damage differently. But yeah, no, very interesting for Morgana. Morgana, one of those champions as well, too, where she's coming out of a darkness and she throws a binding your way. It's pretty hard to react. It's pretty hard to deal with that. And Morgana would be a very effective mid ganker if you're able to come from one of those back paths in between the jungle bushes, coming around from behind. If you land that binding, it's going to be nearly impossible for anyone to get away. And it's also, like I said, it's maybe possible that this was picked. Maybe he's an okay jungle Morgana, but it's also picked as a takeaway from Q-Pick potentially. Yeah. Who knows? I'm excited. That's a cool. It'll be cool regardless, unless he gets stomped on.
Unless he gets stomped on. But he does have a lot of backup with this team. He's got very strong laners. He's got the Caitlyn Braum in the bot lane, which is a fairly dominant lane. Caitlyn, one of the stronger laners, just because of that extra range she has over pretty much anyone on the roster. And Darius, one of the best top lane bruisers, just to take control of the lane with.
Yeah, Darius very dominant. We've seen some great performances from Vanish on the Darius as well too. Watery on the Maokai this game as well. Rumble not banned and not picked. So interesting that they have chosen to go for a completely different style of team comp this time around. Last 2 games they were very team fight centric. They still are, obviously. They're happy to team fight, but not those AoE game changing ultimates. But Maokai very
a lot more
very
of that
tanky.
Front to back style of team fighting rather than but yeah, and the Kindred ulti, so Ken playing something different, got the Graves banned away from him, going on to the Kindred this game, so another aggressive dueling AD jungle for him.
Yeah, and Kindred, one of those trickier junglers where you really do want to be able to be invading. So very beneficial when you're playing Kindred if you have winning lanes as well too, because that's going to give you the ability to move into your opponent's jungle to get those stacks on the jungle buffs. Whereas if your opponent or if your teammates have losing lanes, it's very dangerous when you go in to get a Gromp or a Wolves even. Very, very scary. So beneficial that these got these strong laners as well too, in the Syndra and the Maokai and Ezreal Nami, obviously reasonably strong lane. So it's really going to be, I find, as an opposing jungler against Kindred, you want to be quick in your jungle. You want to be keeping an eye out on where you think that Kindred's going to be popping out. And then as soon as one of those neutral buffs gets tagged, you've got to be in position and you just pick it up. And I'll even change my route sometimes to just make sure that Kindred is denied the buffs.
Oh, and we do get a pause as soon as we get into game here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pause, unpause probably, but
yeah,
we'll see shortly in a second. Yeah, it looks like
play
a quick,
resuming
just
right
pause,
away here.
unpause.
So yeah, just
worried
probably had some kind of hiccup somewhere, like in the Discord, probably, and thus wanted to make sure everything was right before they got in. And we do see the 5-man invade. Yeah, Vanish leading the way here. They do have the Morgana binding, though I would imagine with Jungle Morgana, that's not the ideal way to start, is with binding.
No, yeah. It would be no different, to be honest, really, because she's going to be starting a singular camp. So if she were starting one of the AoE camps, she would probably need to grab her pool. But the bind would be probably be fine for her, to be honest, if she did have to pick it up, especially to pick up that first blood. She's going to get level 2 really quick thereafter. Not going to set her that far behind.
Yeah. We'll be backing off, coming down to that blue buff to start out early. And we do see Kitten starting on his blue buff as well.
Yeah, so another mirrored start this game, but a mirrored blue start instead of a mirrored red start as the previous game.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they're choosing these starts. Yeah. And game volume does seem a little loud as well, too.
Yeah, we are a little loud on that as broadcast bringing that down for us. Thank you very much.
But yeah, it's interesting to see why has he chosen a blue start.
Yeah. I mean, Morgana obviously will want that blue to help her jungle clear out. But Kindred definitely one of those laners that can, or one of those jungles that can start the red buff and maybe go for that level 2 gank with the red buff down onto the bot lane or such. As I'm not entirely certain, but we may have lost Tim there. Had a little bit of an internet glitch earlier, so hopefully he will join us again later, as we do have a little bit of engage in the mid lane. Cupid just pushing away Dark Creation here as he tries to go forward. That's going to be a matchup to watch, the Yasuo versus the Syndra. Kind of Syndra being able to avoid most of his engages by pushing back with the Scatter of the Weak. As long as he doesn't get knocked up by these tornadoes, as he does get dropped very low. The early auto attacks coming out very large. The ignite comes down, the barriers pop, and Cupid will make it out alive as Kitten now coming down into the bot side with the red buff available. Huang going very low. The flash forward as Kitten goes down low as well. The ignite burning away. Kitty for Kimchi tries to jump in and get the kill, but goes down to the tower. First blood going the way of Trin, and he will be taken down by Kitten on the backside here. Nami keeping Kitten topped off, as we do have Antimi roaming in for the counter gank. Might try to find another kill here. Huang did go down in that exchange. Kitten managing to dodge away from the Dark Binding. Very low, though. Spell Immune going to help him just keep up with Kitten as he chases down that last kill. And a lot of action popping off early. We saw in the first game of the last series, the team's playing a little bit slower to start, and no such luck here. Team fail support, and Negative Space just going at each other's throats from the get-go.
Yeah, in the last game that we had played, neither jungler was going for any of that 3-minute-ish gank. Both went elected to just farm throughout those periods, but this game, no such luck. Morgana comes for the counter gank after Kitten manages to execute an excellent gank in the bot lane. Does pick up both targets, just like you said, gets support and AD, and a lot of summoner spells burned as well, too. All of them, actually.
Oh, and Cupic, just with the outplay on Dark Creation in the mid lane, gets the 1v1 kill. I was not expecting Cupic to get that.
No, yeah, that's a massive pickup for Cupic there in that lane, especially having been forced away so early with that gank, forced to burn Flash and Barrier. Going in there with onto Dark Creation, but that's really one of those scenarios where if Dark Creation doesn't have any or Dark Creation, or no, it is Dark Creation. If he doesn't have any minions, there's not much that he can do to respond. He doesn't have anywhere to dash to. He's got no maneuverability. His wind wall is probably already on cooldown. That's why Cupid's going for the fight. Ooh, big trade for Kimchi.
Huang. Yeah, Huang taken very low, and this is a lane, like, it is really interesting to see Kin focus this down early, because Huang and Trin really were the backbone of Team Fail support throughout the round robin here early on. They were just piling up lead after lead and destroying the mid game just with such strong leads coming out of the bot.
Yeah, they've had some very dominant matches in that bot lane. Kitten here, though, really putting on a lot of damage, and that early gank as well is really going to set Huang and Trin behind. Especially versus an Ezreal who's gone for a scaling item. So he's gonna be looking not to really fight super much early. But once he gets a couple of his major items, that's when he's going to want to open the door. Whereas Caitlyn and Braum really do want to try and extend their lead early so that Caitlyn can go into the mid lane or mid game with a strong item advantage.
Yeah, and if you're Team Fail support, you're probably liking that early Ocean Drake. Kind of helps out very strong lanes in the Darius, plus the Caitlyn and Braum kind of helps them just sustain even more in these lanes, because we do see Huang and Trin just playing more aggressively even with that early gank, and trying to keep K for Kimchi down, as Dark Creation's now going on to the Syndra, will get the last breath, and that will be the last breath of life for Cupic as Antimi picks up that one, I believe, with the Morgana pool. But a good play there by Dark Creation, turning around after a solo kill earlier.
Yeah, and these laners, the Yasuo, the Syndra, they have a lot of damage potential in their kit, especially if they start their combo lock in the right way. So we're probably gonna see this back and forth a couple times this game. Cupic, obviously a very dominant mid laner, but Dark Creation also having some really, really strong performances on Katarina and some other characters this tournament.
Yeah. Really, the only down game that Dark Creation really had was his Katarina game against, I believe it was Negative Space earlier. Had a little bit of trouble there, but even so, managed to come back in this lane as Vanish just 1v1's Wassery, and there's that early Darius power just absolutely dominating the Maokai.
Yeah, and that's what Darius wants, is he wants to be able to beat that Maokai before Maokai gets especially tanky, and that's a big win for him. 1-0, 20-some CS advantage in that top lane, picks up the Merc Treads to start as well, too, so Maokai CC is not going to keep Darius down. He's going to be happy to take these fights, and as he gets a couple more items, he's going to be even more dangerous, but Maokai does have Ninja Tabby, so that'll probably help him out as well, too. Cupic in trouble, though.
Yeah, manages to flash away from the binding, but the dive further in by Dark Creation will drop very low by the tower. The flash forward by Kitten will not be able to find the kill onto Dark Creation. He will be able to walk away from that one. And some very tight health bars coming out of that.
So close. So close. Kitten goes for the auto attack. He's thinking that it's enough damage. Unfortunately for him, he has no damage items completed yet. He just has his jungle item, which is giving him no attack damage stats. And unfortunately, one auto attack is not enough Having the Eb more would have put him into a dangerous position, so he doesn't choose to try and chase down for the kill.
Yeah,
but
Vanish continuing to just...
time.
Yeah, Vanish continuing to just run over Watery in the top lane here. A very good use of the Maokai route to dodge away from that Q. That would have been huge damage, not just onto Watery, but a huge healing bonus that he would have gotten there.
Yeah, and he's going to probably need to make these tricky plays because Maokai wants to be able to, well, basically needs to be able to be in the minion lane in order to get CS in the top lane. And as you can see, since our 20 CS advantage, Vanish has already extended that to a 30 CS advantage. So this is a very, very dangerous lane for Maokai right now. Needs to be in the CS to farm, really. But if he's in the CS, then Darius has all the potential to kill him.
Yeah, and we do see Kitten moving forward, trying to get the counter gank onto Antimi and Dark Creations in the mid lane. The Cinder ulti will come down, the stun coming, and Cupid just going to one, essentially, Dark Creations in the mid lane.
Yeah, well played by Cupid there, just weaving in those auto attacks in between spells, getting the absolute max amount of damage out, and that is exactly what he needed. He picks up Dark Creation X there, and Dark Creation starting to have a rough game now.
Yeah, as we do get an engaged in the river here. Kitten going very low, but has the ultimate to keep himself alive, and that's going to be a clean 3 for nothing right before the dragon spawns here, only 15 seconds, so this might be the dragon pickup, but I think the death timers are just a little too short for it.
Yeah, they could go for the dragon here. Kitten may be choosing to start it up anyways. They can do it pretty quickly. It doesn't have a huge health pool at the start of the game. You can solo it with most junglers nowadays as well too. So having a little bit of assistance for Kitten early on the first dragon, he is going to be able to pick that up. And that's going to be a massive, massive get there for Negative Space. Not the earliest first dragon for them, but that's the second dragon of the game. And good takeaway from Team Fail Support at the very least.
Yeah, and so an early Infernal Dragon, so a little bit of counter.
Oh. Don't know if we lost you there, Kevin. Looks like we may have. I think you guys can still hear me. If you could let me know if you can still hear me. I did have a disconnect from our VMix call earlier today. But we got fixing on the scoreboard, nice too. That's awesome. But we're going to be continuing with this game. Team Fail Support versus Negative Space. Negative Space now with a 700 gold lead, 2 kills on the map. We've got a lot of pathing coming around from Morgana. It looks like she might be looking for a gank here on the top lane, but we do see Kitten positioned in the top lane as well, too, in this bottom side right now. Oh, there's Kitten going in for the gank, but Morgana's here on the backside. She's going to be coming in with her ultimate. It's engaged onto both targets. Darius putting out a lot of damage early. Morgana manages to land the Soul Shackles, coming around from behind, binding in a couple seconds. Going to be looking for a Cubic here for the support, coming in with big damage. Watery falling low. Managed to get a full heal from Vanish. All the stacks onto him. He's still got max movement speed. Doesn't get the ultimate for the kill. Watery's going to fall, though. And a massive pickup there by Team Fail Support. Bringing it home for them right there. Cupic then getting caught out by Dark Creation X. Nice rotation there by Cupic, trying to help out his team. Unfortunately, not enough and not working out for him, and he goes down for his troubles as well, too. So Team Fail Support picking up a whole bunch there for almost nothing. Dark Creation being able to put a little bit of damage onto that tower there in the mid lane. And as we look on this bot matchup here, we see a fairly even game so far in terms of CS between the two ADs. 102 CS on Ezreal, 104 CS on Caitlyn. Caitlyn and Ezreal, neither of them at an item spike at this point. Ezreal does have his Sheen completed and his tier, however. So if they do get into one of these close position fights where Ezreal can land a couple Qs onto Caitlyn, it's going to be very, very hard for Caitlyn to deal with that. A lot of damage coming her way.
Yeah, sorry I missed a little bit. I'm kind of back. Power
You're
went
on
out
your
at my
phone?
apartment, so
Wow.
I am on my phone, on my phone's network. I don't even have Wi-Fi right now, so I'm just spectating as best I can off the stream we have here.
Well,
so we do have Dark Creations going down with that gank, though.
Yeah, Dark Creations.
Kitten now getting engaged on. Maokai is here for the backup, and this is going to be a full-out team fight after the tower goes down in the bottom lane. Kitten going to have to pop the ultimate to stay alive here. Watari managing to finish off Trin, and Caitlyn going down earlier in the fight. This is a little difficult. I have a very small screen to cast off of now.
Yeah, that would be tough. So is the power out in your whole neighborhood, Kevin? Is that what it looks like from your window?
I don't know about the whole neighborhood. I just know for sure my apartment.
Well, that
it's hard to
sucks.
tell in the middle of the day whether, lights are off in other buildings just because or not.
That's definitely true. And we do see a DC from Cupic as well, too. So hopefully we're not going to see, oh my god, the note says power outage. So we are seeing exactly what you just experienced, Kevin. Cupic has gotten a power outage as well, too.
So he might be in a similar location to me, so that's kind of rough. That actually does match up with the timing as well, because we are 3 minutes behind in the spectator mode.
Yeah, you're right. You were 100% right. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, we are 3 minutes delayed, so both of you guys losing your power at the same time. We do see a reconnect, though. Oh, it's just me! It's just me on the stream! Oh my god!
I'm not going to risk trying to get a good camera angle while I'm in the dark of my apartment because, I don't have any lights in this power outage.
Well, that's fair.
So,
I'm here.
I don't have a camera right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we're going to have to see what we're going to be doing about this. With Cupic DC from a power outage, this is very rare for any sort of league tournament. Obviously,
again, if he's in the same location as I am, the power is currently still out. Like, I'm not getting any indications that I'm going to be getting my power back anytime soon here.
Yeah, that is hella unfortunate. It's if we were, this is one of the dangers of COVID, extra power draw on the grid. We've got, we can't be at overclocked where we have extremely strong power infrastructure, so we don't lose the power.
Yep.
Plus
it's that pure fiber, that strong fiber internet that you have. Because you were having the internet hiccups earlier.
2011. Yeah, and here at my house I was having internet hiccups. Yeah, so Sunday afternoon, it's raining outside too, right? If I remember correctly, it was raining earlier.
Or at least it was earlier.
So we've got one of those circumstances here where probably everyone's inside. It's raining outside, so no one's out. Everyone's inside, a huge draw on the grid, and at the same time probably something going haywire due to hopefully there's no lightning.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot going on. Like, looking outside at my neighborhood, it's a little bit windy, but really not too abnormal weather that really should cause any power outages.
No, well, if it's a car hitting something, then that'll cause an outage. If it's
there's other things that can happen.
Grid, yeah. Unfortunately, impossible for us to know how long this is going to take.
Yeah, so maybe if our broadcast still has some of the replays from earlier, we can take a look. I did miss a little bit of the action as I was just cut off by this power outage.
Yeah, you were out for about 2 minutes, it seems. Two disconnects from two casters in one game, and of course, it's the grand finals. Of course, it's the grand finals.
Yeah.
That's the way it works,
but
right?
More importantly, we lose one of the players. We could go on if it was only one caster, but you can't really go on when you lose one of the players as well. So we'll have to
Yeah.
figure out what's going to go on with this one. I believe the pause timer only has a 30-minute window.
It does. It has a
Before it
30-minute window,
unpauses.
and then after which we are into the game, regardless. So if we do, I'm not sure. I haven't prepared a whole scenario binder for power outage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and
not one of the things that we were expecting coming into this.
Just communicating with the players right now, so excuse my non-camera focus on you people at home.
Yeah, no problem. I wish I could help out a little bit more, but currently the only view that I've got is of your lovely face here, Tim.
Oh, good God. I think the only thing that we can do right now is really rate.
Yeah. So perhaps we will take
And
a
hope.
short little break here and see what happens.
Yeah, we've got they're at a 3-minute ahead of us. So currently the pause timer for them is at 21 minutes. So we have 21 minutes for the power to come back for them to be able to get back into the game. Otherwise, the game will resume automatically, and obviously can't really play out a game without the mid laner.
Yeah. The 4v5, especially somebody who's been as pivotal as Cupid has been for negative space throughout today and throughout the rest of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Well, worst case scenario, I'm just thinking through some options right now. Very worst case scenario, we may have to postpone the finals. That might be, because this is obviously completely out of our control. We have no sort of understanding as to when it's going to come back, if it's going to come back. With power outages like this, normally when they're out, they're either back on very quickly or it's a major fix. So, and it can take at least a few hours. So,
when it first happened, I expected it to kind of just be a little bit of a surge, because that has happened once or twice in my neighborhood, where I would have just shut down. I would have just had to reboot my computer, and I'd be back on in about the 2 minutes that it took me to get my phone ready to go for this. But I'm still in the dark here, literally and figuratively.
yeah, mentally as well too. Mentally
Yeah,
stinted.
not too many lights going on up there. Yeah. But so I think what we will do is we will take a short pause, and we will come back to the action once we kind of figure out what's going on here. So hopefully sooner, but possibly in 10-15 minutes, depending on how long this takes to go get sorted out. We will be back on live with some answers for you. So please stick around while we get through some uncontrollable technical difficulties.
Yeah, unfortunate.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.
ASA is a non-profit, province-wide collection of gaming communities. Their focus is to foster lasting esports growth through collaboration with over a dozen gaming communities and multiple industry partnerships. Before we officially bring Super Smashing COVID to a close, we'd like to show our appreciation for all the competitors. Let's relive some of the best moments throughout the tournament.
Unblockable setup into the key tower!
Oh my god!
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
How was it drinking, man?
Yeah, he's all like, Christmas resilience, cheers, man! That's great!
A way to where these forwarders from the Eagle Buffs that aren't gonna hit, but Mark is gonna hit.
Oh, and again, such great recovery. He dipped. I think he missed that edge guard like 2 or 3.
The sparking. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, this is the ghetto perfect! Oh my goodness! The ghetto perfect! We got it on stream.
I'm camping my round 1. I'm camping my round 1 in a charity tournament. Who can say they timed out their round 1 opponent?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
No! Who's gonna die first? Oh, it's a tie!
Wait, are you kidding?
Nothing?
Younglings back there are super weak. I think
Yeah.
Up may have killed them.
Maybe.
Oh, and the dash attack.
Dash attack, okay.
We're not going to see any Shabooms with these packs.
Oh.
That's super good.
When he's not stuck in Deadman Pokey.
I don't
Is
know
that
what
it?
move that was. Holy cow, that did a lot of damage.
Plus? Okay, no! Come on!
Geki,
Activation.
spending some meter for damage.
Yup.
Tries
Oh,
it
that's
again.
blocked. Oh, no, he
That's
kicked
dead. Sog spends the rest
Wow.
of the Sogi. David, meaty overhead setup. DP, critical. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got? We got a reset. Came in building meter.
Nice event.
Stay up.
Oh,
And
that's
the
a winner touchdown! 5 seconds left on the clock.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.
The summoner has reconnected.
We are back, kind of live. I'm just a
Kevin's
dark box
black
here.
box. Well, it represents what you're experiencing right now, which is utter and total blackness in your home. So
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's actually perfect. And then that way, it's not just a huge
Yeah, this-
screen of me.
Yeah, I don't actually have my camera turned off. This is just my existence right now.
This is your existence. Yeah, I'm somewhere and you're nowhere. That's what's going on. So yeah, we are going to be getting back into game. We're going to finish out this game, and then we're going to see what the state of power is for downtown. Cupic has managed to tether internet to a laptop. Oh, wait. He's looking at this, and it looks like he has 250 ping. Yeah, that's fine.
Which, if you've ever played League of Legends, kind of sucks.
Oh my god, you can't play with that ping. That's not even playing. So,
if you haven't experienced it on the NA server, just go and try a game on the EU server. You'll find out very quickly.
Yeah, and it doesn't take you that long to figure it out. So they're going to go for an unpause here right now in the lobby. We are 3 minutes behind, so they unpaused, and we're into the game, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing another pause again right away once Cupic stutter steps around the map a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see when they do choose to go for that second pause, but yeah, this is a very unfortunate turn of events today, this power outage. Cupic trying everything he can to be able to get back into the game, setting up a laptop tethered to a cell phone, but obviously those are not the conditions in which you want to be playing a grand finals game of League of Legends.
Yeah, since we are back into game here, maybe if broadcast can turn down the game volume just a touch. At least for me, it was pretty loud in my ears on my phone here. Yeah, it's going to be tough to come back playing just off a tethered phone. On the bright side, I will have a live report of when the power comes back.
That's true, you will. Okay, so I've just gotten another update from the players, so it looks like Cupic's going to be a man, and he's going to play it out with the 250 ping. So I think he's just hoping that when he presses R on Syndra, that all the orbs will go the direction which he's actually clicked, and that character will still be alive when he clicks them. That's a major delay. So yeah, we are going to be seeing Cupic play from a disadvantage here for the rest of the game. But we do have both teams still fighting it out as hard as they can. The momentum is probably a little bit lost for both these teams, coming from a very long pause. Always hard to recover from those long pauses. Just sitting there, you forget where you were necessarily in the game. What was the flow? Was I beating this person in trades? Where was I moving? A lot of those decisions and stuff like that, when you're in those very long pauses, that information might just completely disappear. And it looks like we may have lost Kevin again, so either the cell phone got... Oh, you're still here? Are you here?
Kind of. My phone is just having a time with calls. Go a few minutes while I figure this out.
Oh boy, yes, yeah, you can figure it out. That sounds great. Yeah, Kevin unfortunately cutting in and out there when he was chatting as well too. We're trying to make it work. We're trying everything that we can. Unfortunately, not under our normal laboratory conditions at Overclock, where we have a lot more control over what's going on. But still, had the power gone out for Overclock, we'd all be out of power as well too. So, and normally when you do have these power outages, it's either, ooh, we do see a big engage coming here in mid lane. We got Morgana with the flash soul shackles onto City, manages to find it, manages to be coming around on the backside. They pick up Caper Kimchi as well too. Kitten's here on the bottom side, and he's going very low. Gets slowed up by the Bronze. Ian Vanish trying to catch him, has a bonus movement speed, hits him with the ultimate. He's going to take him down. Big kill for DN Vanish, 3 for 0 for the side of Team Fail Support. And Cupic, not in that team fight, was on the bottom side of the map. May have not seen the team fight until it was already over. Just joking, he's not lagging that bad. But that's going to be a mid-tower here as well for Team Fail Support. And as they proceed to move around the map, Negative Space here does have 1 dragon. We have Team Fail Support with 2 dragons so far. Next dragon's up in about 2 minutes or so. So they're going to be looking for that objective as well too. If Team Fail Support's able to pick that up, that'll be very scary for Negative Space. They'll have real control over the game at that point, with 3 dragons, the 4th one available for them, as well the map control too, with 4 towers to 0 currently for Team Fail Support. And Maokai here has one item completed. We are seeing the second item being built up on Darius right now. Darius has his Bramble Vest now building into what looks like it's going to be a Black Cleaver for him as well, too. Morgana does have her completed Zhonya's Hourglass. Very massive for her, enabling her to make a lot more plays in those team fights. So she's got her Runic Echoes, because remember, this is jungle Morgana. So Morgana coming from the shadows with her ultimate and with her Q, her snare, able to open up opportunities. She is looking for a gank here on the bot side. They're looking for one on Cupid. Cupid may be lagging, but Dark Creation says, no mercy. Nice flash. Unfortunately, Antony on the other side, Cupid getting targeted by the Caitlyn as well, too. Does go down before Caitlyn ult connects. Caitlyn ult will go on cooldown, though. And Negative Space is going to sneak this Baron here, it looks like. TFS has committed a lot of players to the bottom side of the map. They're still pushing. DMVantage is pushing in the top side. He does not have vision on the Baron. He does have a pink ward in the long push. Top side, but it's not granting enough vision of them to see it. We do see Braum pathing that way. He is going to be rewarded. He sweeps it. He sees they're doing it, but it might be too late. Goes for the steal. Not going to be enough. Huge pickup by Negative Space there, grabbing that Baron. Definitely what they needed at this point in the game, and that is such an early 20-some minute Baron. Very close pull there from DMVantage. Almost managing to grab Kitten there for the last second, but doesn't quite connect. And now we're seeing Negative Space with a Baron buff and a lot of tower gold still on the map. Negative Space has yet to take a tower this game. They've now got the Baron-empowered minions to push down any lane they so choose. Trin and Caitlyn just going around the map. Trin looking for people, trying to make sure that they maintain this vision in the jungle. Gets a second ward up, knowing that Kitten was going to clean that pink ward once it had been spotted there. But they're going to be able to get this dragon for relatively free as well here too. Team Failsport picking up their third dragon of the game. One more to go before Dragon Soul, and that Dragon Soul is going to be the Air Dragon Soul this game. Pretty massive for a champion like Morgana. Gives Yasuo a lot of movement speed after he ultimates as well too. Darius, who is already chasing characters down all the time, that would give him a lot of movement speed. So it'll be very interesting to see if they do manage to get that forward. Cupid getting engaged on by Duck Creation X. Kitten's ultimate going out, making him golden. They've got some time. Ultimate's coming through from Cupid, and it is enough damage. Picks up Duck Creation, but Duck Creation does do enough damage to take out Cupid as well too. So a 1-for-1 with an assist onto Kitten. Hello, Chop City. Ooh, and this fancy work by Antony there, picking up the one. Ooh. Unfortunately, Kevin, I think you're still coming in really choppy right now. I'm hearing about every third syllable from you. I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly or not, or if the cell phone's just not giving you a good time. But hopefully we'll have the power up here in a couple minutes. That's really the hope. We're going to give it a little bit of time. Cupid is playing on a laptop tethered to the internet, which will limit the amount of time that he could play regardless, because he can't charge his laptop, can't plug the laptop in. He's just living on that laptop battery. And once it enters power saving mode, that is equivalent to 20 FPS mode. So 23.5 minutes so far into the game, and 3 dragons picked up with 3 minutes until the next dragon. 1 Baron buff. A lot of jungle objectives being focused this game. The Creation doing a bunch of damage to Quinn there really quickly, getting a lot of damage off to him. Trin looking for an engage, maybe. Oh, but a TP's coming in from Maokai onto the bot side, gets knocked up by Yasuo. Rommel's probably going to be coming in here right now, does land on the Creation. Watery tanking out a lot of the abilities there. He is the tank, though. That's who you want tanking. But on the back line, Kitten getting engaged on by Morgana. K for Kimchi trying to walk away. Wang heals, goes in for the auto attack. Not enough damage. Oh, it does. The Redburn burns and he kills him and he goes down. But now it is Wang all alone. versus a tank and a mid laner. He's doing a bunch of damage to Watery, getting him low, misses! Unfortunately, misses a Piltover Peacemaker, but does manage to connect with the last hit onto him, taking him down. DN Vanish not there at all for that fight, not running the Summoner Teleport this game, running the heal and the Ghost, making him very hard to duel against, but also not enabling him to join his team for that fight. Still gets top inhibitor tower for it. Massive pickup for Team Fail Support. Very exciting fight in that bot side, and now they're up 7 towers to 0, which is basically their entire gold lead this game. Cupik still going to be picking up those blue buffs. Syndra 655. Cupik still trying to do everything he can. He's obviously playing at a detriment now at this point. Morgana having completed her 3rd item as well too, and she's got, hilariously, what a hilarious choice for Morgana. Morgana has Zhonya's Hourglass and a stopwatch. So she's got 2 golds. So she's going to Zhonya's, and then she's going to stopwatch. Very interesting. I've never seen a player pick up a secondary stopwatch after they'd already finished their Zhonya's. Ooh, but maybe a fight in the jungle here coming up. Watery's looking for an engage. The roots are coming. Stopped by the Ice Wall. Big ult by Trin onto their team. Fighting like madness in the jungle. Cupik almost stunned by Braum. Doesn't manage to get stunned up. We see Dark Creation X and Braum both falling. Maokai falls as well too. That's 2 for 1 so far. The re-engage is coming. The advantage is here. He's massive. He's coming in. He's got his stacks. He's got no ultimate though, unfortunately. Didn't get the reset on it, but they're going to be able to squeeze them out there. And that is a 5 for 2 for the side of Team Fail Support. 5 for 2. 5 seconds on Dragon. Wow, they are going to be able to pick up this Dragon here as well too, and that is a massive team fight for Team Fail Support. Picking up a lot of gold from all the kills. As well, they're going to be able to get 4th Dragon and Dragon Soul this game. Trin now stepping out through the top jungle. He's going to be looking to get some wards onto that Baron area. Kitten, you can see, is pathing the same way as well, too. All teams know where the objective lies on the map. It's Baron. They've got to be worried about it. Negative Space got the first one. They know the other team is strong enough to be able to take it at this point. But they do obviously have to... Oh, nice. Kitten almost missing to pick up the Rift Scuttle there. Does manage to grab it. That's going to give them unremovable vision of the Baron area. So very important for Negative Space. That can help them plan how they want to try and approach the situation. But Team Fail Support is just going to go for a raw start on this. Caitlyn choosing to try and DPS over the wall. Not quite managing the position perfectly. Does choose to go over the wall into the pit then, so she can make sure she gets attacked. 3 people knocked up by the Nami. They're coming in for the Baron. Red team manages to secure the Baron with Caitlyn. And they take 3 characters. Cindy falling low as well too. Duck Creation coming on the backside. K for Kimchi all the way away from his team. Cupik in a dangerous spot. Braum very fast. Doesn't manage to connect with his slow, unfortunately. Gets pushed back by Cupik. Cupik gonna be able to walk away, but that's only 2 members alive, and K for Kimchi low on the backside does get pulled by DN Vanish, but he picks him up. Huge free for K for Kimchi there. Cupik does get sniped out by the Caitlyn. Very hard for him to outplay that Caitlyn, especially when you're dealing with a MS disadvantage. K for Kimchi might be caught out here though. Huang coming on the backside. He is going to get stunned up. Doesn't have his Essence Shift yet. Looking for it. Does manage to hit the Q. Reduce some cooldown on his Essence Shift. Takes him over the wall and saves his life. Well played for K for Kimchi. Managing to stay alive there at a very dangerous time. K for Kimchi does have this exciting Ezreal build where you go Manamune, Iceborne, Gauntlet, and Death's Dance. So you've got a lot of healing, a lot of CDR, and a lot of utility as well too. So you're pretty tanky to begin with. One of the reasons he was able to survive that fight. And then on top of that, you're doing a lot of damage, and your Q is on an extremely short cooldown thanks to the cooldown reduction of your Death's Dance and your Frozen Fist, or your Iceborne Gauntlet. For Dragonzo and Baron buff, Team Failsport are going to be looking for where they can make their opening. They have an open inhibitor bot side or top side, all towers down on the outer towers, so they're just going to be pushing in towards these inhibitor towers at this point. They don't have a TP on their team though, so they might choose to do a 5-man push with this Baron as opposed to a 4-1 split. Darius is in a position where he could probably 1v1 anyone right now in the game though, so they may choose to split him off. Nope, it looks like they are going to group together. Caitlyn is the one controlling the mid wave, making sure that that lane is pushing, so they do have the advantage. They might go for a 4-1 split with a rotating mid. Yeah, and just rotate between that mid and top side, try and break the towers as fast as they can. Cubic, excellent at lane clear though. Going to be able to bring a lot of that to his team as well. They have Ezreal for cleaning up those far away minions. With the Sheen, Iceborne, going to be doing a lot of damage as well too, so it looks like they have opted to now split. They're not going to stack as a team. DN Vanish realizes he needs to be separate and pull at least 2 people to deal with them, so his team has a chance to try and break one of these towers. K for Kimchi holding mid. DN Vanish doesn't want to get engaged on, but he does want to pull as much pressure as possible. Huang's going to be sieging this tower now. A lot of damage coming down real quick. Really well played by DN Vanish, pulling the team to the other side, and that's going to be a busted turret mid lane. Kitten is now looking for them right now, trying to force them off. Duck Creation X coming in a little far, doesn't connect with his ability though. Oh, big knock-up from Rim. Duck Creation ults into the team fight. Massive engage there by Team Failsport. They're all falling extremely low. Morgana in the backside as well too with Soul Shackles. They're looking for K for Kimchi. They did find him. They brought him down, and that's going to be 4 members dead for the side of Negative Space. Team Failsport, no man dead, pushing in onto the Nexus. That is going to be game 1 for going towards Team Failsport. GG to both teams. A little strange with that pause right in the mid game with the power outage for Cupic and for Noteman here. Unfortunately for Noteman, not really able to get in on the commentating in the last game as well too, with the disconnection from the chat. His phone not giving him enough bandwidth to be able to manage that call, and a big flash forward from Morgana here. This is one of the first plays we saw back after the pause. Morgana coming in with all her abilities, nice engaged, pick up a double kill onto their bot laners, pick up K for Kimchi and the Nami. Meanwhile, DN Vanish is there as well too, engaging in the jungle, big pickup onto Kitten as well too, and it goes from a fairly even game into a strong lead for Team Failsport. Yeah, and this Baron buff here, this early Baron take from Negative Space was a really sneaky play. If you look at the minimap right now, they didn't have any vision of them walking forward. They walked through the jungle, up through the darkness, all the way to Baron. Meanwhile, there's pressure that's been created on the bottom side of the map, so they're focusing on taking an outer tower. Then they're wondering, well, why has nobody come to deal with this? And then, oh, they're on Baron. DN Vanish coming in from the backside. He's way too late. Braum is there as well too, not able to give him any sort of help. And that was a free Baron for Negative Space, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to turn it into anything. They didn't get any towers from that Baron. No towers at the end of the game. TFS just had them pushed in for the whole game. And with Yasuo pushing extremely quick, Darius pushing extremely quick, and Caitlyn pushing extremely quick, especially you know, with the Morgana too, adding a little bit more on that wave push. It was just, there was no opportunity for Negative Space to collapse and really make any sort of plays off that Baron. And a big fight here. Cupic manages to pick up the Creation X, but still goes down for his trouble. And yeah, another big engage here onto the bot side. Watery coming in, big fight here for Negative Space, and this was a fight that really looked like it was going to start out in their favor. Started well, but unfortunately for them, their entire backside just manages to get cleaned up by the fight. Huang picking up the kill with that finesse red buff. And then just dueling here, focuses first, starting on Cupid, knowing that Cupid's the damage source, does everything he can. Huang backing away, manages to miss the Piltover, but still picks up the kill on Maokai. Wasn't able to do enough damage onto Cupid to bring them both down. If you had killed Cupid in that first exchange, might have been able to pick them both up, and that would have been a massive change up there. Watery here, you can see his ultimate getting canceled by the wind wall of Yasuo, really hampering that engage for them. And then just the re-engage from Team Fail Support in that choke. Darius being absolutely massive and being here with his team right now at this point. The flash Darius to pull in the carries. Boom, there goes Syndra. Boom, there goes Ezreal. And then you've got Nami on the backside. Nothing she can do. She's going to go down. And Darius at that point, just absolutely a monster. Dragon's about to spawn. That's 4th dragon for Team Fail Support, and then they're on to the Baron. Nice try at a fight here by Negative Space. They really go in. Kitten tries to get the steal, doesn't manage to get it, but Jungler doesn't pick it up either. Caitlyn Damage manages to be the one picking up the Baron, so very close to a steal there for Kitten. Doesn't get it in the end, unfortunately. Cupid kites away. The creation, unfortunately, has a stopwatch. Very rare to see at this point in the game on a Yasuo, obviously building it to his GA. But he makes massive use of that, and Cupid doesn't pick up anyone, not able to force him off the Baron, doesn't get a kill, and unfortunately for him, that's going to be one of the last opportunities that they had to fight in this game, because now, as you can see, they're just pushing in. Great ult by Trin, gets 3 knockup. Decreation comes back in on the backside. They're all fighting, all stacked together. Morgana's in there as well, too. Soul Shackles, Pool. No worries whatsoever. And then there's 4 men alive, still pushing forward. 5th man on this, no, 5 men alive, still pushing forward, and only 1 man alive for Negative Space. Watery on the Maokai. Absolutely nothing you can do here with these health pools, and that's going to be the Nexus, and that's going to be game 1 of the series going for Team Fail Support. So unusual circumstances that we're in right now as well too. I am obviously solo. It's just me. You can see my face. It's just me. It's too much face. I know. But that's where we're at right now. It looks like Noteman isn't going to be able to reconnect. And the laptop that Cupid just played his last game on to finish it off is now dead. So that is the state that we're at right now. So this is really unfortunate, but I think we don't really have any other choice except for to look for a reschedule to finish out the series. So we'll be talking to all the teams here, as well as LTE network is down is what I'm just hearing as a notice. So yeah, it looks like we might be seeing some major power outage issues around the city, which leads me to believe that we're not in that 30 minutes and then power's back and we're all good to go. So rather than keep everyone here on the hold, unfortunately, we are going to have to call the stream for today. We managed to get in some good games from both teams. Thank you so much to Team Fail Support, Negative Space, and Fake Friends. Fake Friends for the first series. At least we were able to complete their series perfectly fine, no hiccups. Moving on to the grand final series with Negative Space and Team Fail Support. Team Fail Support now up 1-0. But yeah, we will let you know what we're going to be doing for when we'll finish up the stream. Unfortunately, what that does mean is that means that our campaign for the donations will have run out by that time. So we'll be doing just fixed donations to the food bank for that stream. We'll have a link for you guys to donate to that as well too. Yeah, if you are watching the stream right now and you have some money and you haven't had a chance to donate, help us push it over that $1,000 mark. That would be so awesome if we could say that we at least raised $1,000 for the food bank through all this. I want to say a big thank you to ICU Video for the cast, for all the production quality and really leveling up our broadcast here. You can see those cool little stingers in between the 3D stuff coming in. That's all ICU. So great. They normally do amateur sports here around town, but they were interested in getting involved with the esports community with, amateur sports being gone for a while. So this has been phenomenal, wonderful to have them on board. And big thank you to them. Big thank you to all of you guys who have tuned into the stream and supported and donated. We really appreciate it. We know the Food Bank appreciates it. Big thank you to the players for participating in the tournament, as well as donating money and their time. I think that, unfortunately, is probably going to be it for the broadcast today. And then we will be making some posts on our social media to let you know when we'll be scheduling the finals, and we will finish out these finals here. We'll have a new link to donate to the Food Bank for that. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. We're sorry for the short stream, unfortunately, but we'll talk to you soon.